I know y'all woke up happy, so you have to do the traditional morning after. So for the new people to the channel, the new subscribers, thank you first off for pulling up. Also, since you're newly initiated, let me explain. Every Sunday after our games, or Saturday, depending if we play on a Friday, which I hear we have one game that will be on a Friday, I do a morning after recap. I like to sleep on the game, better understand, get some good clarity, watch a little bit of the game first thing in the morning, and then we dive right into it. And so we're here, morning after Sooners versus Arkansas State, Oklahoma with the massive W, 73-0. They join two other teams in college football, the Oregon Ducks, as well as the Ole Miss Rebels, who all hit at least 70 points in week one, the official week one. And so we're going to dive into this game. We're going to dive into what Oklahoma did right, what we feel like we could work on, and all of that. And so before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thanks for pulling up to the channel. If you are new, hit the subscribe button, especially if you like it, hit the like button as well, and the bell notification. That way you don't miss any of this content coming down the line. It's college football time, baby. It is now here. And so I try to keep this under 10 minutes. We'll pray that we can do that, because there's a lot to cover in this game, and we'll definitely have the live show tonight at 6 p.m. Central Time here on the channel, here in Unfair Sports. We'll go live. We'll have a special guest tonight, and so let's dive into it, shall we? First off, let's look at probably the biggest plus of the game is going to be the offense, but we're not going to talk about them first. We're going to talk about the defense, and I think that that's something that you guys got to understand. There's a lot of pluses with this defense that you probably did not catch. So first off, there was some concerns around the pass rush. We weren't getting a bunch of sacks in this game. Matter of fact, we got one sack in this game, and we also got, 6 tackles for the loss? So I'm going to tell you, the bigger thing is the 6 tackles for a loss. We did very well in getting in the backfield, forcing our way, and getting those tackles. The one sack, though, was glaring for a lot of people, but I want to explain to you why it's not glaring. Because overall, we only had 49 tackles in this game. We kept them off the field. We did what we need to do. JT Shroud was sitting at 12 for 26 in the game, 148 yards. He couldn't do anything, averaging 5 yards per play. And that, to me, is the bigger number to understand, because what Oklahoma did is went up against Arkansas State, who had max protect up most of the game. If you paid attention, they had max protect most of the time. And so the expectation was that, we had to find a way to get into that backfield. The struggle for us is that it was max protect. So, they was doubling us like crazy, and they were passing the ball within like 2 seconds of each snap. I don't even know if they had a 3-step drop in this game. They actually, Stroud caught the ball, stepped, boom, and was launching it, which is a smart strategy, because Butch Jones, the head coach there, recognized that if you go out there and you try to play too long, they're going to get sacked. They know that our guys are big. We're way more physical than the year before. And even he said it after the game, this team did not look like what we saw on film. They look way more physical. They out-athletic us the entire game. And so they learned a quick lesson. And so they went max protect just in case, and which was smart on their part. So max protect, not going to give you yield a bunch of opportunities to actually get sacks, but it did stop them from really getting yards at 5.7 yards per play. Now, granted, in the rush game, they averaged 2 yards per carry. Folks, what more could you ask for from this team? They did it. I mean, they prevented him from completing 50% of his passes, while also only allowing, 208 yards total? Right. So the defense did their part. Now, the things to work on there was 2 busted plays on there. The 2 long catches, they were busted plays. BV mentioned that the 47-yarder and the 28-yard slant. Those were busted plays, just out of position, fundamental problems, and they'll be fixed. There are things to work on, and the good thing is that we were able to work on it. The last thing that probably needs to be worked on for this team is going to be the penalties. I mean, I love that Reggie's a hammer, but leveling the quarterback on the first possession like that, or second possession, not a good look. It's okay, though. You want him to stay physical like that. You want that physicality out of a player like him, because he was hitting folks all game. So you feel good. So overall, the defense did good. We had 2 pass breakups. It wasn't we didn't have too much going on in the pass game that we need to be concerned about. The secondary was in position where they're supposed to be. Gentry Williams got a leveled shot in the backfield. That tackle for loss was beautiful. Reggie got a tackle for a loss. Grayson Halton got a tackle for a loss. Kobe McKenzie showed up as a missile. Pow, got his. We looked good. We looked good defensively, but I'm going to taper expectations because we looked good last year to start the season. We've got to make sure that we execute next week against SMU, who actually has a decent offense. We execute on them, I have no concern. We didn't show a lot of exotic blitzes and such because, why show more than you need to, right? First game of the season. Let's talk offense. Before we do that, if you like the content so far, hit the like button. If you're to the channel, subscribe and hop in the comments. Let me know how you feel about that defense. I want to hear from you all as well. We like to chop it up in the comment section, so definitely join us for that. Let's jump into this defense real quick, though. This offense real quick. Offensively, this was everything I expected and wanted, right? We got 400 yards in passing in this game. Dillon Gabriel had 308 in the first half. 19 for 22. 4 incompletions all half. That is what you want. With 2 touchdowns, averaging 14 yards a catch. Averaging 14 yards a pass play. Something that really jumped out to me is his deep ball looked good. Now, granted, we had those 2 that seemed like they were a little short. And I mentioned this when I went live with Chris over at the Horns Down podcast. We're going to be going live on his channel post-game. That way we can maintain the recap here in the morning on Sunday as well as the live stream. But we talked about this. We talked about this ad nauseum on his channel that the 2 wide receivers that got those pass interference plays recognized that they were going to outbeat Dillon Gabriel because they had a little bit more time in getting past their defenders. And so what they do? They put themselves in positions to get PIs. They knew that the secondary knows that they're getting beat, so they're going to probably most likely try to get the penalty. Why? Because why in the heck would you let a 70-yard play happen on your watch if you can avoid it? Dillon Gabriel showed that he can outthrow the receivers for the most part. He showed that when he launched it to Andrew Anthony on that deep pass, in which buy as much Andrew Anthony and Jaden Gibson stock as you can get your hands on right now, because after the SMU game, there's not going to be much available. And so we saw this squad go out there, cook on the offensive side. Now, the run game got 220 yards rushing on 49 carries at around, 4.5 yards per carry. Now, you may say that doesn't feel like a lot. That feels like we should be doing more. We were kind of imposing our will. We're up 14-0 early. And they did a really good job of running down the clock. We had some good possessions that made me say, we're back what we need to be. First possession, of course, was short, minute and 19 seconds. We forced a punt immediately, in which Gavin Freeman scored immediately, so the defense didn't get much of a rest. But then the defense only held them to a minute and 14 seconds on the ball, and then we got it back and held it for about 3 minutes. What's that? 3 minutes, 34 seconds. Then 4 minutes. Then 2 minutes. Then 2 minutes. Then 5 minutes. All through the first half. That's what you want. That's what you want. That's what you need. We talked about this on numerous occasions that was my complaint last year, was that we didn't hold the ball long enough to give our defensive rest, especially when we didn't have the depth. Well, we've got depth now, so we don't really have to. With the clock running the way it does, this is going to do nothing but help us long term. We'll be fine. We can keep the fast-paced offense going, and the clock's going to still run, so our time of possession is going to be longer, and so the game itself, the players will still be able to get that rest. So overall, the offense looked good. The running game, Marcus Major got him some run. He looked solid. We had, Javonte Barnes out there to lead the way in the yards, in which, Javonte Barnes, we expected him to do. Team-wise, 642 yards in total offense compared to their 208. So offensively, we executed at a very high clip that we needed. And then, the wide receivers, we were spreading the love. The most catches were by Jaquez Petaway at 9. Besides that, it was like twosies and threesies and fours. We didn't need to throw it a bunch. And somebody asked me in Chris's live stream, what happened to Jalil Farouk? He seemed a little missing. It's okay. We didn't need Farouk. This game was a litmus test on all of our players. Blake Smith got a catch. Kay McIntyre got a catch. We needed to see what we had to work with. And now we can truly execute on feeling more confident going to the SMU game. So That's our morning after recap. Hop in the comments. Let your boy know. You know I like to hear from you all. How you feel? How you feel after week 1? I like to taper expectations again. This is the first week. We beat up on Arkansas State. That was expected. Next week, SMU is going to be more of a challenge. If you like the content, you made it this far, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We would love to have you join this family. We talk a lot of college football, especially Oklahoma football, but we're adding everybody else in. I've got the Colorado morning after coming right after this, so you can keep your eyes open for that in the next 30 minutes. Besides that, YouTube says watch one of these videos I curated perfectly for you all. Please come to the live stream tonight at 6 p.m. We would love to have you. We'll chop it up soon. Peace.